Alright, light is green.
Right. Does anyone want to recap what happened last time?
Oh,
Spiders.
last time. Yeah, we had a bad time last time. An innocent girl died. We killed a spider with an elven face on it. And got bitten again. We have a phoenix. Well, maybe lesser phoenix as well. And we fought a basilisk.
Yeah, that sums it about up. Basically, you left. You left Ravengrow with Kendra, and picked up some things on the way, and met. What was it? The Crooked Kin. A troupe of performers with various deformities or disabilities or extra limbs. That sort of stuff.
Thought we killed one.
That one was not part of the troupe.
Should have been. It was very impressive.
Yeah.
People would have paid money to see her.
She had too much of a tendency to eat people to be welcome in any troupe, I'd imagine. Unless one of those clown troops from Spelljammer, the demon clown troops, maybe
Cursed
one of those would have.
The cursed car of infinite clowns. They just keep coming out.
Yes. Yeah. And you do continue your travels for the 2 or 3 more days it takes to reach Lepidstadt. Did anyone want to keep make conversation with the troop, or are you not interested in them at all? Both are valid options.
I mean, Ilfrin wouldn't be horribly interested. He's gonna be too busy with the hatchling and trying to, have conversations with Kendra.
Yeah. Well, for the first couple days, the hatchling doesn't do too much. Mostly just sleeping, eating whatever it's fed. But eventually it does start waddling around a little whenever it's unattended.
Oh, it will not be unattended. Ilfrin knows better than that. Something that has the potential to make fire does not get left unattended. That's how you get a forest fire, and he might be a wildfire druid, but that doesn't mean he wants to start them.
Do you put it in a cage?
I'd probably use my cloak to make a pocket and keep it in the pocket on my person.
And then you fall over. Right on the pocket.
I hope not. I try to keep it up around the collarbone area so that, he can fall and not squish.
Now the real question is, would you let it play with the weasel?
No! Absolutely not. I'm not that dumb. Which weasel?
Only 10 gold.
Well, Grayson's weasel is
okay.
familiar.
No. I don't trust Grayson.
The weasel seems disappointed.
Well, I don't care about what the weasel says. The weasel is not playing with the baby bird. Next thing I know, the baby bird is eaten. Or Grayson's going to be coming to me wanting a replacement because the baby bird has pecked it. I can see that happening like 10 times over because let me see. There you go. Did I hit the weasel?
I don't think so.
You did
But
not, actually.
But the weasel could
Yes.
also make dex saving throw.
See, this is why. No, it is not playing with the weasel. Ilfrin is not going to be running out his pockets with replacing the weasel. That's also what I'm concerned about. I do not want to catch things on fire.
Yeah, because you'll owe me 10 gold.
Yes.
It could catch your pocket on fire.
Yeah, I've accepted this. I can put the pocket out, and then I can mend it. So I mean, I'm good with this. But yeah, no, the Ilfrin will not. I don't know about anybody else. I mean, Kelmorn's the performer there.
Would you let the hatchling play with any of the others if they wished?
The party members? Probably. Except for Pog and Grayson.
I get why Grayson's on there, but Pog?
Yeah.
Wow.
How about Joffrey?
No!
Would you trust it with Johnny? So none of the party. We got it.
No. Yes, under supervision.
I want to learn how to do shot put.
What about Mirror Johnny?
No. Helmorn?
Mirror Johnny
yes.
can only punch.
Sybil, yes. Kendra, obviously. Johnny under tight supervision.
So Pocket Grace, not at all.
No.
Joffrey also no.
Yes, gentle in his name.
It's not about Joffrey. It's just the fact that Joffrey is a statue, and the potential for disaster is too high.
So let's see. These people are allowed to handle
The baby.
Yeah.
Bel-Air. Fresh Prince.
No. Ballet.
Like the dance?
Not kind of, I guess. I don't know. I just strung words. As a matter of fact, I strung a bunch of words together, so it comes out to flame dancer. So there you go. Like a dance. There we go.
Eventually, you do arrive at Lepidstadt. On the way, if you at least halfway listen to the group, at times you will learn that they also heard about the apparent capture of the Beast of Lepidstadt and try to take the opportunity to perform there and hopefully make some money. And they continue to be grateful about your help finding Elise, even though she didn't make it. Yeah. You're good in their books, so eventually, as you do arrive at the city, those who aren't familiar with the city notice that it is a fairly old city which has been partially recently renovated. It still has some non-existent walls over parts of the area. They haven't been built properly yet. There are some rundown houses all around. Half of them seem to be newly built or renovated. Yeah, it's not a particularly huge city, but it does seem fairly well off overall. Yeah, that's about what you can see from a casual observation. Is there anywhere specific you would like to go first? Are you going to split up or stay together?
Well, if I remember, we were supposed to go with Kendra to the judge's house to, make sure we got paid and all that jazz.
Yes, Judge Durham.
Yeah. I would suggest that we try to hit there first and then figure out what to do from there. You have deliveries to make as well.
Yeah. Some people also have other places they might want to go.
Bar.
Well, wouldn't you want to go to the bar after you have money to spend at the bar?
Yeah, let's go get the money first.
We also have to
Yes.
deliver the books.
So more money can get stolen from him. He gets flat out drunk.
Well, bad idea to try to steal from Johnny.
But if Johnny is too drunk to even stand up,
He can pace
He's
himself.
a dwarf. He's a dwarf. How many dwarves get flat out drunk like that? Don't answer that. I just realized the answer. Don't answer that.
yeah, all
Anyways.
of them.
Yeah, I would suggest the judge.
Are there any opposing votes?
No, needs to get done.
What do you think
Right.
from Grayson?
No, I already said that's for me.
The cluster of people eventually arrives here. And as you knock at the door, it doesn't take long until the judge herself answers. Yes. It's a fairly old woman who, if anyone of
Looks
you would be
mildly
familiar,
terrifying.
most people do. I mean, you do remember.
All these people are haunted.
Yeah, you do remember this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I know that one. But Grayson knows quite a bit more. But yeah, that one.
I suppose Grayson would have met her before. Judge Durham is, after all, a kind of old friend of Petrus Lorimer as well. But yeah, she definitely recognizes Kendra. And in fact, as she recognizes Kendra, she does come over to give her a brief hug. And turns to the rest of hello there. I think I know who you are already. The friends of Professor Lorimore, right?
That would be correct.
Correct. So I assume they have stayed with you for the month as discussed in the testament. She asks to Kendra, who confirms that. And Chanel, well, do come in then. I'm sure you can spare the few minutes. And there is also a thing I would like to discuss with you, if you don't mind.
Well, sure. I would go in.
What are the others doing?
Assume we go in.
Hmm.
Looks around. Hog probably walks through his legs, not caring.
Just wondering because people seem a bit quiet today. Yeah.
Okay.
You get in, and she invites you over to a tea table in the living room. Well, before we continue, I believe you have something for me?
Yeah, we got
Waiting
a
for
whole
somebody
box.
else.
We.
There we go.
I was gonna say I can't remember.
Yeah. What do you actually give her?
Books.
There. Yeah, it was the.
I'm waiting for Johnny. You can keep. You can have the box.
It
and
was
use it.
specifically. Which were the ones we were specifically supposed to hand over?
Did I give you the...
I don't have it on the list.
Oh wait, I gave you the channel, but not the testament itself.
Because I was about to say
Was it
some of
a-
the books had to go to different people.
Alright, yeah, you would have had testament still. This up quick. I'll put that into the collective player notes.
Okay.
The formatting is shit because it comes from a PDF, but it should work. Alright, it doesn't say in there as well. But yeah, the manual of the Order of the Paladin Eye is the one you're supposed to give to her.
Okay. Yeah, then that's the one that. Yeah, I'd fish it out.
I actually... No, I didn't here. But it was the one with the lock on it. You decided to not.
Yeah.
This one.
For some strange reason, I didn't think it was a good idea to go picking the lock.
Your locks are shit.
If it's locked, the professor wanted it locked, and that's that.
Yeah. She takes it from you and looks over it, checks it for any damages, and once she's satisfied, puts it aside. Oh, well. For that. It's been quite some time since he borrowed that. Glad to see it again. The other books, you do know where to bring them, correct?
We have it all written down for us.
We are familiar with
there
the
it is.
university, yes.
Yeah, that one is supposed to Carrion Crown, professor of antiquities at the Lepidstadt University. All right. Thank you. Now, the other matter I wish to discuss with you concerns the beast. I believe you heard of it by now?
Yeah, it was in the papers, I think. Grayson, you were the one who brought the paper that mentioned that, right?
Yeah. And I pull up. There it is.
Yes. Well, the thing is, I am not convinced of the Beast's guilt, as are most of the people in this town. Many just want to see it burn, but I can't shake the feeling there is more to it than what meets the eye. You have heard the rumors, I suppose, about the strange kind things it did. It supposedly did, as well as the murders.
Saving cats, if I'm not mistaken. Things like that.
Yes, and at some point, it supposedly also brought a bouquet of flowers to the mayor's daughter. The mayor was not amused by this. But yes, I'm not convinced all of the murders accounted to the beast are actually its doing. So I would be pleased if you could help with the investigations in that regard. Mostly since I am one of the judges presiding over the case and I cannot be part of the defense for obvious reasons. I assume you can understand that much. And in that regard, I can also not be connected to any of your investigations.
Makes sense. Conflict of interest zone.
Yes. That said, I will remain impartial during the trial. Well, partial as I can. However, I wish for it to get a fair trial where the defense actually tries to make sure justice is served as well.
That's good. I mean, hopefully it isn't a horrible creature.
Well,
What
it is
kind-
currently locked up at the courthouse, so you would be able to speak with it as well.
Do we even know what kind of creature this is? Because this isn't the first time the townsfolk has brought in some random disfigured animal or person and claimed them to be the horrible beast that lives in the woods and terrifies the livestock.
Well, it appears to be a man, sort of. I would say it is best you speak to it, or at least take a look at it yourselves. It would be easier than explaining everything.
What do you think, Elmore?
Could be a fancy retail. What if a checkout at least? Big beastie.
Big, small, human size?
You must have some sort of description if people's got that many stories about it.
I mean, for all intents and purposes, it looks like a big scarred man.
Don't know why you
I
can say
have
that
to
get
it's
a
east.
parchment and start trying to do a quarter drawing.
I haven't gotten much more than a fleeting glance at it, to be honest.
Why don't we pop on down then while we can just head on down now.
Well, the courthouse, I don't actually live in the courthouse.
Yeah, I know that part.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying. Why don't we go to the courthouse
Yeah.
now?
You mean you don't live in my life is a lie?
Yeah, I mean pop down as in we just go to where the courthouse is.
But yeah, I forgot the
Courthouse, my life is
courthouse.
a lie.
It is up here.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, not far away. Yeah, we can just pop over and potentially have a conversation with the individual.
Yes. Well, I will also make sure your efforts will not go unappreciated. Should the trial actually be a fair one, and it is absolutely made sure that the beast is guilty or not guilty, I will also offer you a bit of an extra payment. But actually, let's get this out of the way. And she digs through a small chest nearby to hand each of you some heavy coin pouches with 100 platinum coins inside each.
Sheesh.
This, as
That's a lot of
promised
money.
by the professor. And should you uncover the actual truths behind the beast's alleged crimes, I will provide you with just as much again.
Oh.
I should have gone to academia.
Yes, it does pay quite well.
Punching shit just doesn't hit the same way.
Despite being called the sweet science, it's not really.
Johnny, that was a very bad pun.
A
As long as it's not rhyming.
dwarf could never rhyme. It'd be insane.
You're suggesting to be a problem with his brain.
I mean, rhyming is correlation does not equal causation. Just because you rhyme doesn't mean you have a brain.
But as I mentioned, part of this implies also that you will leave me completely out of anything, any of your investigations. You will not make any mention of this in court. That I would reward you for your aid of the defense.
Noted. We will keep your name out of it.
Yeah, and there's a defense team we can talk to anyway, right? So
Yes, there is a defense. She seems a bit reluctant talking about this and not at all enthusiastic. It
Think it's somebody you
is,
don't like?
well, It is less about not liking this person, Barrister Gustav Capel. It is more about his ability to actually defend someone.
Ah,
The
So we're
last 7 trials he had all ended with the defendee getting executed, which
think he's
is
Ah.
not
taking
a particularly desirable result. And yes, you will find him at the courthouse as well, and you will be able to judge for yourselves.
you think he's taking bribes or something?
No, to put it bluntly, I just think he's incompetent.
Ah,
Yeah, that is putting it lightly.
I mean, if he were to be indisposed during the trial, would there be a better defense put up?
I'm afraid there is no one with the proper education who would be willing to defend the bee.
Okay, we'll work what we got then.
I mean, it is not that he is particularly hostile towards it. He is just not the most capable individual.
where could we find this individual if we need them?
Most likely at the courthouse, preparing case, everything else. And yes,
Right.
the courthouse would likely be a decent next stop for you.
Anybody object to heading on over there right quick?
We don't want to get some accommodations set up now that we have money.
We could. It's just the courthouse isn't that far away. We could do that after the courthouse.
May
Yeah,
as well
fine
head
either
there
way.
since may as well go as a group.
Yeah, and not to mention, I mean, Pog and I suppose Grayson don't need to get accommodations. They already have them here.
We've been
Yeah.
away from the university for a
Would-
month. What more is another hour?
Would Grayson be willing to house the party in
I
his
don't
mother's
know.
house?
That's gonna be awkward. He would try to. No, he lives at the university. Yeah, there's no room.
Perfectly fine, free accommodation, and the wizard won't mention it because he doesn't want people to meet his mother.
Pretty much, yes.
Unless anybody objects, yeah, Ilfrin's going to the courthouse.
Right. I suppose everyone else is following along.
Mm-hmm.
Ilfrin's also got his cloak up because he does not want a bunch of stairs.
All right. Well then, I will leave you to it. And we'll see each other in court. I wish you luck with your investigations.
Yeah, usually it's a threat, not a promise.
Yeah, flashbacks just then.
Well, don't take it as a threat from me, please. As I said, I do only wish to see justice served, rather than vengeance or a lynch mob.
Yeah, that last one I do not like the idea of. Let's go.
Yeah. Right. So, as you eventually leave the house and make your way to the courthouse, you do see on the word The plaza? That area there? This area. I'm trying to remember the right word for it. Courtyard. Just a large free area.
Like
There's
a
Is this a
courtyard.
park?
Well, it'd be a
like
square,
a
but it's
large,
round.
yeah, city square basically. Where it's just a lot of cobblestone, open space where people can go around
A forum.
together. No roof, just
Yeah, an open air square. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, on that square, you can see that the people are building what Pog, Johnny, and Grayson would recognize as the Punishing Man. It is basically Lepidstad's traditional method of executing murderers and other criminals guilty of capital crimes. It's a gigantic man-shaped agglomeration of cut timber standing over 30 feet tall. Convicted criminals are placed within the figure's hollow chest cavity, and the entire structure is then set on fire in a public ceremony. So, basically burning at the stake with extra steps.
Yeah.
Grayson, or correction, not Grayson. Ilfrin just kind of leans over it. So what's that supposed to be, guys?
Civilized world.
It's a tradition that was dying out before a bunch of hipsters thought it was cool and revived it.
Those damn youngins.
Yay! This is an interesting thing. Let's
Yeah,
get into the courthouse.
that's well fucking excessive. What's wrong with just a simple noose?
Because
starting to feel like
ritualizing
home.
it,
Well,
ritualizing it kind of removes your involvement with it.
it is somewhat of a tradition. Kendra chimes in.
Oh, that's lovely. We immolate this man as a traditional thing. It's meant to be a punishment, not a fucking festival.
Great for dates.
Well, from what I've heard in other cities, executions are made into public events there as well. The
It
one here
depends
is
on
just a bigger one, I guess.
it depends on what message they're trying to send with the execution.
Well, in this case, please check out the gift shop.
Not that bad.
You can get a small one for use on the weasel.
No.
What?
What did the weasel do to deserve execution?
It looks like it's murdered a
Yes.
man.
Does the weasel look like it's murdered a man?
Yes.
Hmm.
Which weasel?
All of them.
The one that's murdered a man.
It's just some raspberry jam from breakfast. He wipes the weasel's face.
Keep that in a drink pouch too.
But yes, some of you would actually know that the burning, the Punishing Man is a bit of a tourist attraction. And you did hear from the troop that they actually arrived there to try to perform while the Punishing Man gets burned.
Guys, I'm just gonna point out. I'm from the Underdark. This seems a bit more like our sort of thing. Are you sure that you don't have any drow involved with this?
Are you surprised by the rich cultural traditions of our quaint little university town?
Yes. Yes, I am.
To be fair, it's just for capital crimes such as murders and other things which cannot be
Ah.
easily forgiven. It is not something we do to just anyone.
Treason, subterfuge, tax evasion, all the biggins.
Conveniently, we find one of these ne'er-do-wells at least once a year, at the same time, oddly enough. Makes it much easier for performers to keep their schedules.
Usually out of towners, people who don't have a lot of friends, family in the town.
It's not like we round them up on the day of
No.
a festival.
No, criminals are just kept warm in prison.
We say we have civilized institutions.
Yeah, I can see that. Publicly burning people alive until they snuff it out for religious reasons. That is very civilized. You're quite right there.
So Kelmorn, are you going to be performing then?
I can dodge this crowd. I don't really need that. What if I start playing a song I don't fancy? I've been on fire on stage plenty of times before. I am skipping this one. I'll go for the people who decided, no, I won't attend this. I'll have a nice quiet evening in a bar.
Where do you
Alright,
think
let's
they'll
go.
go after the ceremony is done?
I'm looking for the ones who were there beforehand.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
But as
definitely not my scene. Fuck that.
you do eventually get into the courthouse. You can see a couple of guards before the courthouse and around it. They don't seem to be particularly they're just regular guards, not too experienced, just regular trained people who are paid to watch over petty criminals for the most part. And they lead you inside once you announce that you would like to speak with the barrister of Capel. And eventually you do meet him. The one, unlike in this picture, he's actually wearing the massive judge's wig. And he makes quite an impressive figure. And as you are led towards him, he does look at you. What would you like from me? Who are you?
I look at Kelmorn.
Oh, you're making me do the introductions?
This time, yes.
Right, we're here to help you build up an actual defense case for the monster that is being so cruelly victimized in this case. And even though the monster itself seems to just be a man.
Oh, the beast. Yes, I have heard of the crimes. To be honest, it seems very convincing. I am not really sure if I can.
So you're not really feeling the compulsion to give your client the best defense that you can give within the truth, eh? Just thinking, I'll slide this one away. It's fine on the docket.
No. Oh, don't get me wrong. I do think the beast could receive a fair trial. It is just that I don't have seen any evidence pointing to its innocence.
Have you looked for any?
More things that point toward it being guilty.
I have a question. Does the beast have a name?
An address?
No.
Loved ones? It just seems to be
No.
Last we've heard, it's just a person who's a bit scarred up.
Well, It is not exactly a man, I would say. Best you look at it yourself. It is in the cells downstairs. Come with me. I'll show you.
We'll take the escort, alright.
At least asked his name, though.
And then tell him you got the worst lawyer on the planet.
Don't be rude.
No, I just think it could be defended by Mr. Pog here, who really won't show much interest.
But he's at least probably more competent.
Definitely more competent.
Johnny. Gilmore.
I'd be a better
It's
lawyer.
probably the first kind of case he's ever handled like this.
You listen to that spiel, and he apparently doesn't have much faith in other lawyers. They've got to have backbone to defend someone.
Yeah, he does lead you to the basement where the beast is chained up. And the description here. A towering abomination sits in an iron chair, bound with no less than a dozen sets of manacles. Stitching holds together this grotesque patchwork of flesh and bone, beast and man, though the wires are so taut they look as they might fly apart at any moment. Its mouth is twisted in a permanent sneer, and the shock of lank, dark hair clings to its scalp. The creature slumps in its chair, despondent expression upon its monstrous face. Wait,
Oh, hello there,
to
big
a
lad.
handout for that.
He at least understands the predicament he's in.
Bet we could get him a job at that carnival.
We can worry about employment after he's free to walk. Assuming. We're here to make sure justice is done.
He's looking a wee bit familiar, actually.
Oh.
There, you should have it now.
They weren't in the library, so I was only allowed to skim the book, but there was that one on flesh golem construction.
True.
That was up for sale. It's the page.
Someone had to have sold it to him.
Or sold it to the person who, yeah.
He did mention he got it from a kind of fishy person who didn't exactly detail where he got the book.
Oh no, Kuto.
Well, at least it's not
Okay.
just some lumberjack I've done over. I could see why people would react negatively in some ways.
Sir, hello.
You lucid? You attentive?
He doesn't seem to really notice anyone, but as you do speak something, he does make some sounds, or it does make some sounds, and as you listen closer, you can make out some words. I didn't do it. Didn't do it.
Right,
He
could
didn't do it.
you tell us your name?
I didn't do it.
Surely you have a easier name to say that. Because Mr. didn't do it. Well, judging by how the festival is, that might go a long way.
I don't think he's much of a conversationalist.
No, which is going to make this a lot harder.
It is hard to corroborate. Right side, not much chance of him incriminating himself on the stand.
Indeed. Barrister, has he been cleaned up since he was brought in?
No. He was. The guards chained it up and brought it. The guards chained it up and brought it here right after it broke into the university. That is where they caught it too.
His hands have any sign of dried blood?
There are actually no signs of blood. It didn't see. It's just chained up. It does have some dirt and dust over it, but no actual blood.
Brenda, what were you doing heading into the university?
I didn't do it.
We're
Oh.
we're at a bit of a dead end here, so we'll ask the barrister. Did the guard say anything about the direction he was going? Was he going for one of the shooter's quarters or library, or was he just standing at the gate having busted down, maybe accidentally?
Well, he was at the antiquities department. I don't know really much, but apparently the beast was smashing up the department. Don't really know why. No one really knows why. I believe there was something stolen, but the beast did not have it. So
Was there like
Do it.
was there a trail of destruction leading there from the beginning, or was it just the room that was wrecked, the apartment?
It was just the department.
Right, because I look at this gentleman, I'm not seeing a live acrobatic type that could sneak in places unnoticed.
So you
Yeah,
think he
maybe
was
just-
already in the college?
In the college or led there.
So if we could
Well,
find our thief, we might have a
Yeah,
lead.
if something was stolen, that implies a second party. Plus, he had the presence of mind to hide it, which I
Well,
doubt.
I mean, who knows? He could have eaten it. But it's also just the logic of this one does not look like someone who could just easily sweep in through a place, certainly somewhere as busy as a university, even at night, and only leave one room destroyed.
They'd know if they actually saw
Well,
him being let in.
There'd at least be footprints that might have a bit of a depression in some of your soft carpets.
well, yes, it did seem to go in through the front door, but it just started mashing up the things at random in the apartment.
That doesn't sound like the other stories we've heard about the beast.
Well, it sounds like half of them.
Well, it seems like no one's ever really seen it, like outside of this.
Aye.
Just tales of like, oh, this must have been this, must have been that. But it seems to be a little bit more sneaky than this guy.
Just,
Actually,
a
are you
blanket.
just in regards of your communication with the beast, are you just talking from it outside the bars, or are you trying anything else?
If I would be allowed
when
in,
do
I
we-
would go in.
When is feeding time? We could bring him food.
Well, okay, that's actually a good question.
I know
Also,
the
what does
fi-
it eat?
That
yeah,
is
I know
not
the 5e
something that
answer,
is
not the Pathfinder answer.
Yeah, it doesn't have a Pathfinder answer. There's nothing in a book about this.
They don't just say it's a flesh golem?
No, they don't just say it's a flesh god.
Think about what a flesh
That's-
golem would eat.
That means he doesn't have a stat
Or
bank. We
like-
can kill him easily.
Or you can just say, we bring him food, but he doesn't eat it.
Yeah.
And so we've just stopped and it doesn't seem to be an issue. We're confused. We don't understand. We are scared of
Yeah,
it. This
and
just makes it more fearsome.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go with that. It just doesn't eat. Yes, it doesn't seem to eat to get hungry. It just sits there and
Says it didn't do it.
yes.
Well, he says he didn't do it. I still wish we could get a name out of him.
How long have
Feels
stories
wrong
of yeah? How long have the stories of the beast been going?
We call him Mr. Beast.
I probably figure they've just eventually turned him into like a local boogeyman. Oh, this fell down. Must have been the beast. Oh, this window broke. It was the beast. Oh, this skunk went and sprayed the side of my house. The beast must have done it.
Well, I'm just
Yes,
curious if
the-
it was a matter of years or months.
Yeah, the beast has been a local legend for years now. So
All that time he's evaded, and this is the one time he's been caught, inside structures and whatnot. Like, he's not. You don't have a whole lot of trail of devastation or anything on previous accounts. Like, he hasn't flattened a house or busted through a farm or leveled a barn or anything like that there, no.
I would think it'd be
Well,
I know
difficult.
it's usually just, oh no, one of my sheep went missing.
I would think it'd be difficult to pinpoint something that was actually the beast.
Yeah, well, the things it is on trial for, which are things you would have also heard, some of you at least, is that there were some swampers of a nearby village or hamlet rather were killed. Those were how many? That 8, I think. 8 people in the forest were killed. Then there was also it's the village of Herkstag was apparently set on fire by it.
How far away is
And-
Hagstad?
Right, that's one of the later ones. A few hours away from the city.
And when
foot.
did the fire take place?
Let me take a look. 7 months ago. That was a more recent one.
And why do people say it's the beast? Just because they can't find anyone else who did it?
I believe you'll find that even young aspirants to the college will often claim that the beasts took their homework.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of sounds like it's become one of those local boogeymen.
But in truth, it was
Where-
probably one of the Jeffs.
I have a question. Which department was it supposedly smashing up?
The antiquities department.
Valuable
Yes.
stuff in there.
Yeah, I can see why
Well-
they're angry.
Apparently, only one thing has gotten missing. But the
And do
barrister
they know
doesn't
what it is?
know himself what it was.
Don't you worry. I mean, sure, he broke up a lot of things, but it could have been worse. Could have been something new.
Well, we can ask what was stolen. That might give us a hint. As
But
well
our
as
lawyer
seeing
here
the
doesn't
actual
know how.
break-in.
To go back to Ilfrin, you did say you would go into the cell.
If I was allowed, I would go in and try to
Yeah.
at least get a look at him potentially and see if maybe he's normally the top one.
And as is the common case, Kelmorn follows once he realizes that Ilfrin is in the cell.
Yes.
No, this is fine. Let him handle it.
And Ilfin ran into the room. Yeah.
Didn't run in, I walked in. Casually walked into the room.
Yeah.
Hang on here, I've just noticed what he's doing. I fear a claw's coming on.
I'll send in Johnny.
Yeah.
Did Kendra come with us for this?
She would stay outside the cell.
Okay, well, yeah, that's what I meant. I would
Yeah, no,
ask.
she's right in there with you, right between you and Kelmore.
Yeah. Please be
Kendra,
careful.
Oh, he won't be.
hold Belay. I will be perfectly careful. Would you please hold Belay for me? I don't want to take her inside.
Hey, sure, come here, you little puffin stuff.
And I go on in.
Look at you, you're gonna burn down the whole bloody world.
That's the true beast.
Yeah.
Please do not make jokes like that. We do not want to be in the cell as well.
No one would
Too
believe the
evil
cute little
was
bird is the
the-
beast.
What was the birds we made along the way?
She's too little to do that. And besides, when she gets older and she can do that, Kelnar will told her not to do that. So there you go.
Plus, Kelmorn has the perfect tool to fiddle about with it. He's got the feathers of its possible mother. We just wiggle it in its face a bit.
Yeah.
It's a familiar
Yeah,
touch.
but as you approach,
I don't
it
think
has
it
never
actually
known
knows.
that touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as you approach the beast in its chains, it doesn't seem to get aggressive at all. Yeah, it just stares at you. It almost resembles a bit of a pout as it looks at you.
You have much control of
Grumbles a
that
bit.
face, big man. Maybe close for teeth.
It moves the lips a bit around, but doesn't seem to quite manage to close the mouth.
Alright. Fair try.
An A for effort.
Fair try.
Buddy, how long have you been here?
Well, you might have to go a wee bit simpler. Can you do yes and no?
Yes.
Okay.
There we go. Now we can work from that, because I don't think he's going to do big sentences.
Yeah.
Just from how he struggled with a bit of a mouth control there.
Have you been living here for a year?
What do you mean? I don't know why I am here.
Well, they're
Somebody
saying
send you?
They're saying you did a number of bad things here, not just the wrecking up of a room, which you probably didn't do. We're going to work that one out.
Yeah. As you mentioned that the beast's face contorts again into an angry grimace. You didn't do it.
Alright, it's alright. We're giving you the benefit of the doubt here. Now, you were in that room, yes?
Room?
It was full of weird objects and old stuff. Bric-a-brac.
I don't know.
Don't know. Do you have moments where you forget what you're doing? Just over the course of a couple of days? So say we jump back, like... Say we jump back a bit in this case of... Do you just have blank spots where you wake up somewhere else?
Not much.
But
Yeah, once is enough.
But you've had them, yeah?
Yes.
Has there been anyone with you during those bits, before and after? Is there a voice that's familiar to you?
Voice.
Someone that was talking to you. Or have you just... No, you've generally been alone.
Yes.
Oh.
Do you have a problem with your anger? Do you sometimes just lash out at things?
Sometimes I get angry. But not with friends.
You have friends?
I used to. Looks down.
Well, you might have more eventually. Especially if we can clear your name here. You'll be very popular.
People don't like.
It's just a little...
They just don't know you.
It's just a little bit of a public image problem. That can be solved well enough.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see here. Do you Did you go to the university?
University?
It's a very large building. It's down to the south, actually. Really big, tall buildings, very impressive.
I know big house. Have seen it from far.
But you've never walked up to it?
I don't think so.
Alright. Let's see
No.
here. There's a wee swamp village nearby. Do you ever gone there? Very muddy, very soggy, wet.
Oh, Oh, there?
Just because we didn't get a name for a place.
That was Morast.
Morast, okay. For reference, that place is called Morast. You might not have seen the sign or anything like it there. But do you think you've been there a few times?
Don't know.
Not sure. Yeah, don't have any
Don't
to find.
think so.
Is there anything, as I look back to the barrister, anything prominent about Harstag before it would burn down? You know, like a notable building, landmark, that sort of thing? Popular dish?
There was a chapel to Death
You probably wouldn't recognise that, though.
Point.
I can give it a go, though.
Yeah.
Is the beast dressed? How is
What?
the beast dressed?
It's basically wears a loincloth and some rags. Basically Hulk wear. Just pants.
Do they look like they fit him, or that they're undersized?
I don't
They
think this
do
one's a grown
seem
boy.
They do seem to fit him.
So he wasn't busting out of his pants. Got it.
No. These pants were made for him, kind of. Crudely made for him, but yes, made for him.
Yeah, I reiterate loosely the directions to Harstag and just say, that's if you've been to that place, it's got used to have a pretty big church, you know, a big tall pointy building. You think you found yourself there a few times?
Don't think so. Maybe.
How are you with remembering things? Like, for you, do you get the seasons of, you know, nice bright sun, golden leaves falling from trees, snow, and then usually a bit of sun with some rain? Do you get a nice, even flow of those?
Yes, I do know summer, winter, cold, hot.
Aye. Just trying to establish if you might have memory gaps or issues there.
Do give me an insight check. Yeah, you get the feeling the whole thing with the locations is probably goes over its head with the descriptions.
I was trying to keep it as base level, but okay.
Yeah. No, he just doesn't have a good sense of location.
Do you remember why the people that took you here from where the university? Do you remember why you were there? Why you went
I
there?
don't know. Woke up, got angry. People came, hit me,
Woke up
brought
now.
me
And-
here.
There's an important
and-
little detail there.
And you don't remember what happened before you woke up? What were you doing the previous day?
Day before, I was wandering about, watching birds. Then don't remember. Wake up. Strange building. Then people come. Well, but then I got really angry. Smashed things. Then people came, hit me. Brought me here.
So you're saying there was a person, at least there, just as you were waking up. Did they look like someone, you know, with armor and weapons and all, or were they somewhat different?
The beast looks to one of the guards standing next to the cell. This one.
Alright. So someone probably informed on him then.
I want out.
We'd like to get you out, but it's a
James
problem.
hurt.
There's a wee issue in that regard. It's a case of people think you've done all this problems and damages to places. Now we're going to try and avoid that.
I didn't do it.
We know.
Gets
We're giving you.
angry.
We're on your side in that regard. We're going to try and prove you didn't. But unfortunately, internment like this is a common thing when someone is accused of a crime.
I didn't do it.
We're on your side in that, as I've said before. But it's a case of we cannot help with this wee bit just yet.
I don't know. Out. Didn't do it. And he starts to pull a bit on his chains. Grumbles, gives up again. Doesn't seem to be in the mood to talk much more at this point.
All right, buddy. We will do what we. Do you have a name?
Actually, trying to remember. I think there was something about that, but where? But no, it doesn't give a name.
Right. All right, buddy. We are gonna figure something out. We'll try to get you out of here soon. Okay?
I didn't do it.
We got you, buddy. And he gets up to go leave.
Right.
I go to take the bird back.
The bird is
Kendra gives it.
Oh.
Yeah, I gave it to Kendra. She stayed outside the room.
Yeah.
No, obviously we
was
take
not
it
going
right
to
up
go
close to the
inside.
flesh golem. That can only go well.
Well, he is a bird fancier.
Yeah, everyone knows from the various Frankenstein stories that fire is great. Goes perfectly well with them.
That would really rock his coconut. Fire bad, but bird good.
Not mentally prepared for contradictions in life.
Come to Kelnar. There you go, little baby. Pet the bird.
Well, guess it's unavoidable. We should see what sort of damage has been done to my department.
Yes, of course. Mr. Cole will, or Professor Cole will gladly inform you about the break in the department. And you go straight to the university? Or is there anything else you want to discuss with the barrister first?
Don't find the barrister a wonderful source of information.
I think the only thing that we could find out from the barrister at this point is when the trial is scheduled.
No, when the execution
Yeah.
is slated.
Yeah, well,
Well, probably both.
Well, the trial is planned to start tomorrow.
Oh,
You're giving us a
will-
lot of time here to help out. Great. Can you ask for a wee extension or something?
That I'm afraid not. The beast has already been incarcerated for a week, and the defense and the prosecution have been gathering evidence since then, and I don't think I could extend any more.
Well,
We will say the trial will take place over 3 days. Tomorrow, the first day, we will discuss the first of the three the three murders it is accused of. That would be the murders of the swampers of the Morast. And any relevant evidence has to be brought up tomorrow.
So the swamp is our
If you
first
want-
place to go. Gotcha. I don't
Yeah.
suppose you've
Yes.
gotten any evidence. You've built up anything.
Not much. Some witnesses who would place the beast at Morast, but there is not much in the way of the defense. I mean, to be honest, you have gotten more words out of the beast than I ever have.
Right, well, we could always engage in a little bit of witness intimidation. I'm only joking there. We're just going to ask some questions. I don't suppose you could share the
Please
names.
Don't they say some things like that?
Yeah, tell more. That's my job.
Is it? As he looks down at Ilfrin.
He just waves at the dark skin.
What? People won't be able to see in the shadows. That's about it. They're not going to be scared of that.
He just gives
That's a very close-minded attitude you've got going on there. Right, but yeah, the people who've chipped in a little account and all for Morast, I don't suppose you've got the names.
They are currently under the witness protection by the prosecution.
Alright, well, they probably weren't going to be helpful anyway.
I don't think so. They just seem quite keen on getting the beast sentenced to burn.
Yeah, kind of figured that.
Well, don't get a chance to poke holes in testimony then. Alright then. So, I think we'll take a little walk here, or we'll go visit the university for a wee bit, then we're on our way to fucking Morast. I love it when there's bugs thick in the air.
Of course. And he lets you go. And towards university. Familiar grounds.
Let's go have a chat with some very important people.
Yeah, Grayson's already in the party.
So
It's important.
I assume you're heading directly to the...
I imagine Mr. Pog would be very adamant in attending there.
Yeah.
Well, it's to see what has happened to the Antiquities Department, and more importantly, to find out what is missing, since we apparently have less than a day to do our work.
Well,
Well,
it's going to be, from the signs of it, it's going to be a stage thing, so tomorrow it'll be all about the death of the Swampers. Probably the day after it will be about Harstag and burning down.
Yeah, as you go there, you can actually start to see the trails. The back door to one of the auditoriums has been broken open. And there are leading some tracks inside. And that's the workshop and general storage area. There is also another completely shattered door and signs of the beast's rampage.
Anyone else's confidence
There.
dipping a wee bit here?
Yes. Too many rounds. Yeah, there's are also some remnants of a really heavy lock that's used to be in place at the door to the workshop. And as you approach the door, you can also see inside a few assistants trying to clean up bits of pottery, some books thrown about, basically doing cleanup of the area. They are not fully done yet, but among them is also one you in particular know, Pog. That would be Carrion, the professor and head of the Department of Antiquity. Hello, Pog. Been a while.
Yes, I take a unintended vacation and come back to sheer calamity. What's happened?
Well, you heard of the beast, I assume? It has broken in here. And not quite sure what it would do with it, or what use it would have, but it stole the sea sage effigy. You remember that one, right? It's basically...
Let's find out. Do I
Yeah.
remember that one?
Make a history check.
Nope. Could you refresh my memory? I've been away for quite the many weeks.
Well, it's been some sort of idol. Kind of looked like a bit of a squid, I believe. From some seaside village. Not really sure, it was just a bit of a curiosity, but I don't really know. It didn't have it on it. I didn't find any remains of it here. I have no clue what happened to it. I mean, I know it was worth quite a bit just because it was such a rarity. But it's more annoying to me that it's missing than anything else. Well, there are also the damages. Those are also not quite pleasant.
Yes, the damage it's one thing, but the fact that something of such diminished capacity pulled a heist, if you will, for one specific artifact implies a second hand at play here.
Well, I mean, maybe it just tossed it around. Maybe we will still find it. It's just strange that just this one is apparently missing.
Have the students, the other members of the university, been subjected to a search? Maybe it has been appropriated by someone seeking to advance one of their projects. During the commotion, they may have slipped in. And...
There were new students let into this area once the guards turned up. I don't believe the guards would know what they would be looking at when seeing this. But please take a look around. Like maybe you see something we've missed. And you can all give me investigation checks. Anyone who wants to take a look around.
I'll give a bardic inspiration to Mr. Pog.
Johnny has no idea what he's looking at.
These all look the same.
So anyway.
I was about to say, two of us are doing great.
One of us is doing better than the other. Let's just point that one out.
Yeah. Pog is also doing okay. Alright. Yeah, what you do find is overall the door to the auditorium has been definitely forced open from outside, and you can also see that there used to be remains of an alarm spell with a fine silver wire and a tiny bell, which is usually used spell component. There's the one set of large boots that could only fit the beast. And best. The actual part where the sea sage effigy has been stored before, that was a corner in the room. It seems strangely untouched, except for the shattered glass, where the sea sage effigy was taken out of. But other than that, everything else, all the small fetishes and carvings around are completely undamaged. And there are also two heavy windows at the back of the workshop, which have apparently not been opened in a long time, except for one of the three windows, sorry, which opens quite easily, has been recently opened, but otherwise looks exactly as dirty and grimy as the other ones, which seem to be stuck, actually. Almost impossible to open without a great feat of strength or plenty of help and tools.
So is this what, a ground floor window, or would they have had
It was
to
a
climb?
ground floor window, yes.
Okay.
Well, it's rather obvious.
Somebody
It's
broke in, stole this, and then went out the window.
aye, while using. We'll call him Stead. All right, we'll just fill in a name. We'll call him Stead. He were used as a distraction, stomping on through, destroys the room, although strangely does not wreck up the place of the stolen item. You'd think he'd.
And also doesn't break the window coming inside.
Well, he obviously didn't go back there. I mean, come on. We saw the path of destruction that led him in here, frontwise. But it's also a case of you'd think he'd wreck up the spot that the item was stolen from to cover up the tracks a bit better. But we're at least dealing with someone who is somewhat crafty, might have some sort of magical talent in him, because we've got the issue of Stead there not knowing he was there. So it could be some sort of magical domination, could be a charm or effect of some sort. Maybe he's got a split personality that's triggered by his anger. He did say he had bouts of memory loss. And in that way he becomes a little bit malleable, maybe.
Control rod or something, probably.
But certainly at no point was he the one using the window. Nor did he, take the item or anything. It could also be slightly unrelated, but that seems very unlikely. This seems more like a coordinated effort.
Is it that brought the guards to capture him?
Well, that was the broken alarm spell on the way in.
Yeah, basically the guard. From what from what Professor Crowell describes, basically the alarm was set off. The guards and, of course, Crowl himself went there to the university, to the workshop, and found the beast raging around, smashing up everything until it was subdued by, basically dogpiled by guards who put it in several shackles.
So
Yeah.
So the exact order of operations isn't quite clear. However, we have at least an endpoint. They sneak in, they steal the item. We have Stead, who busts in through the place, under some sort of control or suggestion, we'll say, just to give him the benefit here, because he definitely did track him away in, does not remember it. Triggers the alarm spell, awakens in the office, confused, starts to lash out in rage and panic. Meanwhile, our thief slips away with the item. The item is known to be stolen, but they have a culprit already to focus all their attention on, so they're not going to be spreading out the investigation any further. Thereby letting the thief scarper off scot-free. Do we agree to this theory?
I agree with that theory.
I can't hear you at the back of a room.
I agree to that theory.
There you go. Stand up and be heard.
I would
Stand up.
Shoes look.
at my full height.
Really? Maybe you should sit in a stool, you'll be a bit
5'4",
taller.
but
I am a full 5'1", thank you very much.
No, you're 5'1", but that's not full.
Even I have to agree, and I'm shorter than you.
Don't make me make the chicken fire at you.
Alright, so Sybil, you asked about the footprints?
Shoes.
Elaborate.
Well, those are his shoes, are they not?
Yes.
How do they look?
They were. Where's the description?
He'll try to ignore the idea that Mr. Pog could in fact sleep in one of them.
Yeah, they're pretty huge. And they're just as iron shot boots. Just really large iron shot boots.
Do they show great signs of wearing?
Yeah, they have been worn for quite a bit of time.
Okay.
Why the fuck are they here?
No, not the boots are on his. The boots are still on the beast.
Okay.
But there are tracks of the
Okay.
boots. I mean, they are the kind of boots that leave indentures in a soft wooden floor.
He's got clear footprints, right? That's what we're going for.
Yeah. So it is indisputable that the beast was indeed the one who broke through the back door, got into the workshop by smashing doors open, and
Well, we've
then
seen
with
the
apparent
sheer
great
size.
care picked out the sea sage effigy
Right.
and did something with it. Apparently opened the window and then started smashing up the place.
That doesn't make any sense. Nothing in that makes sense.
That's why there's a second, an actual culprit. We've noticed the size of a lad and all. By the length of the footprints, does it look like he was in a rush or was he sauntering along?
By the footprints.
Ah, the distance.
No, it was just it was not running exactly, more like a dedicated walk. There were little. Basically, it went straight for the door of the workshop.
Yeah, that bit
No
wasn't
distractions there.
just wondering about the speed of it.
Yeah, just regular speed. What you assume would be regular.
Kelmer's
Pace
just
length.
just hopping along, getting into each footprint. Alright, so Nice steady speed and all that there, not in a big hurry despite the smash and grab nature of the crime. That's definitely suggesting to me a bit of mental control in some way. Right, shall we check where the... Well, I mean, the window can open, right? Let's just see where it comes out of. Or a bush or anything.
By the way, I will also remind you, Montagine Crowl is the one you are supposed to deliver the other books to.
Oh.
That's for them to worry about, not for me.
Yeah, while Kelmorn's doing that, I'm going to go, oh, I believe this is yours, by the way.
He's already halfway at the window.
Yeah.
And I go to pass it.
Montagine Crowl takes up the books with a bit of surprise. Oh! Right. I expect that. But yes, I knew they were coming back to me sometime. How's Professor Lorimer, by the way? I
Something
haven't
passed.
heard a lot. Oh.
Which would explain why you have not heard much.
Oh. And that would also explain why you are bringing books.
Unfortunately.
Well, that's unpleasant. My condolences, Kendra. He turns towards her. She gives a bit of a forced smile. Thank you. It's been a while now. But yes, I think I'm getting better slowly. Thank you. Well, if you ever want to talk, I am here. Professor Crowell says a bit awkwardly.
Mysteries and foul deeds await.
Right. Yes. Have you found anything, Mr.
That's Kelmorn.
Mr. Kelmore?
Mr. Hessel.
Mr. Hessel. Thank you.
Well, what's making it clear is that he was getting rid of the object, so your little tentacle statue thing, taken from case, smashed of course quite horribly, carried to window, chucked out the window, or handed out. Then whatever control was being put upon, we're calling him Stead, but it's the Beast, okay? We're calling him Stead just so we have a name for him. Is released from control and just obliterates the room because he's confused, angry, there's guards shouting at him. He doesn't react well to pressure, he has a temper. So you'll probably get him done on vandalism, but hopefully not for theft. Mind you, it's
I don't
probably
think they'll
going to
kill
take...
you for vandalism.
Mind you, the fine is probably going to take a fair bit to pay off. I don't think he's got much of an opportunity. He could do work in construction, but certainly this window here has been forced open. None of these have been opened since I were a small lad. Which means there was someone here to grab it, or it was just chucked and someone picked it up afterwards. But I'm guessing it was a more intended thing, considering the nature of the activity. Like, for a more dedicated smash and grab, like, he'd just run through and do it. But he's not that type. Like, he had a steady pace coming through here. No urgency until after the handoff.
That is an interesting theory.
That's the only thing that makes sense in this way. Otherwise, where'd your wee sage statue go?
I have no idea, but I would like to know. If you ever do come across it somehow... I believe there was something about it. Some sort of magical effect. But I've never studied it too close. As I said, it was more of a curiosity. And not really my forte.
Mr. Paul, are you aware of anyone on the staff who might have had a bit of a keen interest in it? Or Mr. Crowley, if it had any particular prominence? Like, was it a notable place you got it from?
I believe it was from the region near Ilmarsh. But, well, should you come across it, I would, of course, gladly pay you a bit of a finder's fee.
Right, that's very lovely, but we're still looking for details here on any reasoning or agenda.
I have no idea why anyone would want anything.
No
this?
one among your crew or that Mr. Pog might have interacted with had a keen interest or anything in it?
Not that I know of. As I said, it was some sort of fish-like sea creature sort of statue.
Sounds like it'll be lovely grilled. Alright, let's have a look here as he just
Yeah.
climbs out the window.
Would you say that you would say though that Pog has seen it before, right?
Yeah, Pog has seen it before, but doesn't ring any particular bells.
So just
It hasn't been a particularly prominent part of the
just-
collection.
yeah, just to eliminate the immediate vicinity. See if it's within 1,000 feet of here, or whether it has been taken away.
It
Not
is
just-
not.
So it is not just hiding.
It is gone. Not in this area, at least.
You know, just because I'm curious, I want to use detect magic and find out is there anything here that maybe somebody's missed? Like a magical control rod that somebody left there for our friend.
With detect magic, you find out that there's a lot of magical things in this room.
I figured. So I was hoping that
Unsurprisingly.
maybe something looked weird.
Nothing that you could distinguish. Or you could specifically say this is weird because there's a lot of weird shit in here.
Okay. All right, nothing that stands out to me. All right.
Yeah, for some reason that shriveled finger over there is magical. But you're not sure if it has had to do anything with the case at hand. Yeah. So, is there anything else you want at this antiquity department?
No, Todd, do you know anybody who could be an expert on the doohickey that we're looking for? Or Grayson, theoretically.
No, I wouldn't know much because it was not deemed of great importance. It wasn't really a focus of investigation around here.
So, anything outside the immediate window?
Oh, it was muted. But no, there is nothing you could actually distinguish because there are fresher tracks there as well. It has been a week since the beast was caught here, and they've only recently gotten to start cleaning it up. And therefore, outside the window, there are plenty of more tracks, newer tracks that would have made any tracks from that time fairly unrecognizable.
Alright. Well, this is a bloody dead end, so I reckon we get some lunch and then head up somewhere muddy.
Lunch.
All right,
We
so
should
I only like
probably,
lunch because it
arrange
rhymes with
for,
punch.
accommodations.
It also rhymes with munch.
so you're done here? Or is there anywhere else you would like to go at the university first?
Let's go see Grayson's dorm.
Don't believe
Also,
Grayson lives on premises.
Grayson...
Sorry. What?
You know he
don't
knows
live
your
on
home address.
premises?
He's seen your expense accounts for weasels.
Where do you live then, Grayson?
I stay at the university.
Would he not sleep at his house with his mom?
He doesn't have to answer truthfully.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but that might be a deception check.
And let's go
It
visit his
might
dorm
be-
then. He
It
can't deceive us
might
then.
be.
I mean, it only matters if anyone actually cares enough to push him on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope, I believe him.
But there is also a chance that Pog actually knows he's not sleeping there. If Pog cares to think about it.
I don't think it's worth my time to
Yeah. Wouldn't care.
Probably
to
not.
to challenge his obvious lie that everyone else seems to be buying.
Alright. So, nowhere else anyone wants to go?
We kind of need to immediately start with the whole investigation thing.
I mean,
1,000 turns left.
one of you did get a package from a correspondent at the university some time ago. Bio?
Hmm?
Would Sybil care to visit her acquaintance while you are here?
If we have time, I mean, we still have to check out the place of the murders and such.
Yeah, it's more a matter of you're already at the university.
Well, sure, if we have a little time.
Yeah. I mean, it's the beginning of the new day, and you could be in Morest in 2-3 hours, maybe. So a detour for half an hour or an hour or something shouldn't hurt.
As long as it's all right with the others, sure.
I mean, you could also split up if you don't want to go all there together.
It's
True.
probably best if we stay together.
Right.
Well,
Then you all make your way to a part of the university which is basically a fenced off area with around 8-foot tall iron fence, which Pog and Grayson would know as sort of restricted area, more of a enter at your own risk, and is also the laboratory of one Neria Hardoth, which is described as a bit of a mad genius, an alchemist who has exploded a university building before by accident.
Where she claims was theirs.
Yeah.
So, should Ilfrin and the bird stay outside?
Well,
If you're desperate to go in, I can have a handle of a wee critter.
I'm joking. We'll all go in.
and yeah, at the door,
He's an easy one to
Okay.
manipulate.
The portier waves you through. Well, porter, doorman. English. Yeah. Waves you through as you go there, because apparently going in is not an issue. And you eventually enter the laboratory to see somewhat a young woman there. See where picture. Here you get the token. The laboratory is full with various flasks, potions, alchemical apparati. As usual, and half-finished works, projects. Some look like crossbows without arms. There are also a few prosthetic limbs in the works. But there is actually no sign of the woman herself at an immediate glance in that first room.
I wonder what she's been up to.
Does anyone call out or anything, or just stand there for a while?
Hello.
Don't touch anything.
There's
Wow,
some
science rules.
Yeah, there are some
Yeah, especially
muffled.
you, Johnny.
There are
I
some
bet she
muffled
doesn't call hand
noises.
off.
At the yell of hello, there are some muffled noises from a hatch in the ground. And after a few moments, she comes up with what kind of looks like a diving suit with the big helmet with the extra air supply. And she takes it off. Looks at you. Oh, hello, Sybil, you're back.
Mm-hmm. Come with some friends, and we apparently got wrapped up in the whole beast dilemma that's coming on. But we have a little time, and I thought I'd swing in and say hello. How are you doing?
Yeah, let me put that away. She places the helmet away and moves over to give you a big hug. So, you got my package then, I see. You are running around in the armor, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
Everything working fine?
Oh, absolutely.
Wonderful.
Everything is moving and working just as it used to.
Oh, did you also get to test the things, the toys I sent you? I'm dying to hear about if they work well.
I've had a lot on my plate recently, but I've mostly been working with the armor more than anything else.
Oh. Well, I guess you can keep them.
Oh,
But
there's still time to
them.
test.
Do use them soon. I do have some things I want to test and improve on them if I can. But also, in the meantime, I do have something else I want you to test.
Oh?
And she walks over to one of the work tables with the various prosthetics and eventually comes back with an arm and a leg. Now, I need you to take off your pants and tunic. I want to fit them on you.
Of course.
And she doesn't seem to care that there are...
Right, the rest of you, come on, Vamus, shoo. It's good.
She doesn't seem to care that there are other people in the room.
Weasel covers Grayson's eyes.
Ilfrin just turned right on.
So you're wearing the weasel like a domino mask.
Exactly. Yes.
Now, do you have the belly against your face or the back?
Oh dear.
Kelmorn just unfurls his bedroll to hold in place over it.
Yeah. But yeah, do you actually take off your armor and clothes and such?
Sure.
Yeah. All right. She gets to work, fits them on you, makes a few slight adjustments for height and such. And as you put them on, they do seem to work immediately well, as prosthetic limbs should. But there are some other things that
Did my
don't
sound
really
go out?
quite. What? What was that?
Yeah, yes, it did.
I think she lost sound. She can't hear you.
Can you hear me, Pio?
She needs to reset her Discord.
All right. I'll wait for that time then. But in the meantime, Ilfrin, let's say, yeah, you and some other people who turn around. On one of the counters, you do see a weird contraption. Kind of looks like a glass tank, but the size of a ale mug. And it seems to have tiny mechanical legs, 4 of them. And inside the glass tank is a green liquid, and there is floating inside a tiny brain and 2 eyes. And the tank starts to walk around towards you.
Could you repeat that from the start, because my connection dropped to 5,000 milliseconds and I couldn't hear anything.
Yeah. Basically, what the others who are staring away, they see a tiny mechanical tank containing a glass tank containing a tiny brain and eyes and tiny mechanical legs, and it walks around.
Is that what the inside of my head looks like?
Should we be concerned about the walking brain?
So it's RoboCop 2. Okay.
Oh, that one. No. Squeaky is fine. It's just something I've been toying around with a bit.
Right, what skull did that come out of?
That was a rat.
Alright,
Thought it was a weasel.
Yes.
don't go higher.
Oh joy, man-made horrors beyond my comprehension.
She falls silent at that don't go higher. It almost seems like she wants to say something but doesn't say anything else at the moment, but instead tries to move the topic to elsewhere. It's just something I found recently in one of Lord Karamak's old tomes, before his wife died and he stopped coming to the university and such.
Huh.
And yeah,
Does it?
I just thought it was neat.
Bit
Wanted
of a
to try.
Bit of a hobby of his.
Don't think so. It was one of his older works. Just some leftover scriptures he seems to have forgotten here. But doesn't really matter that much. Let's get back to fitting that on you. So, that length okay? Please take a few steps from me.
All right.
Seems to work fine.
I'll at least give a bit of a twirl here. I need to distract myself from that fucking creepy thing clattering around.
That seems to work quite well. But those things do have some extra functions. Might take some time to get used to them though. Can't really test them too well on my own. But yeah, if you come over here, I'll show you the blueprints. That should explain what they do.
All right.
Let me type. Well, let me give you the description real quick. I'm going to post it in Discord because God damn it, it's too long to send it to. These are the two things. But yeah, as you look over this, does Grayson let his weasel run around?
No. No, she blew up a building. I already told everyone not to touch me.
All right.
I am
So
making sure that my little firebird is not going to shoot no fire all of a sudden. I don't know if she's able to do that yet, but I am keeping her covered. I am not
And
going
it
to kaboom.
sneezes and we're all dead.
That's why in my cloak, no kabooms. No earth-shattering kabooms.
huh. Yeah, then she just keeps an eye on you occasionally, but doesn't seem to do much in that regard. She seems fine with you all just standing there.
Hmm.
Though eventually she does look at you, Pog. Huh. I haven't seen you in a while. Didn't know. What are you actually doing here?
What do you mean? What am I doing here?
Hey, I mean, I didn't take you for one interested in anything I built.
Well, you're right, but right now, this motley crew that I'm attached to is investigating the incident in the antiquities department.
Just glancing over to Johnny Motley, he says, "We're at least ragtag at this point."
Yeah,
I
right.
think that sounds about right.
None of us are stylish.
No.
I said some.
Yes, I heard about that. Haven't really gone there though. Not really my style. That part's too boring. Who cares about the old stuff? The new things I cook up here. That's interesting. I mean, look at that. She holds you over a vial. Kind of, it's not really a vial, more like a glass container with a metal cage around it and some runes inscribed into it. And inside it almost looks like there's a tiny lightning bolt shooting around. Here, take this. I call it bottled lightning.
Does it do what I think it does?
Yes, it does.
Cool.
But not inside here.
I'm sure I can find someone to point it at.
Actually, she looks you all over, then looks to Sybil. Can they keep their mouth shut?
Hmm. Ah.
I'm not asking you. I'm asking Sybil.
Very likely. I think only Johnny does when he gets really, really drunk, though.
I kept it a secret for like 200 years that I was paid to throw that match. Okay. Oh shit!
And you just did it.
Yeah.
To be fair, most of the
I was
people
proving a
involved are
point.
dead by now.
Yeah.
That was
There's
200.
statute of limitations.
That was 200 years ago.
No, I was exaggerating.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, the professor wouldn't have lived that long.
no. Likely would have been closer, 30 to 40, maybe.
Right.
No, with how old Johnny is, maybe.
So you think? Do you think I can show them?
Well, how much trouble would it potentially invite?
Probably just getting yelled at again by the deans. They're so annoying.
Well, can you lot keep mum?
Yeah, this seems like the kind of thing.
I'm very good at that. I was trying to do it for over 250 years.
Did you succeed?
Yes.
Good.
Suppose I can go
As
if
I
you're
look at
fully
it too.
dressed.
All right then.
Wait, what?
Let's.
What did Kilburn say?
He's just
Not
making
sure.
excuses to head out instead and not be part of this.
All right.
I'm
Yeah,
a bit of a
anyone-
tale-teller, so I'll not burden any of us. I'll see you later. I'll head to the square.
All right. Anyone who is deemed trustworthy or deems themselves able to keep silence, once those are left, Neria will go to a box at the corner of the room and folds it up to reveal a hidden entrance to a sort of basement, which Grayson and Pog would know is definitely not part of the original building here.
I didn't know the water table allowed this.
They don't. And she picks up something which kind of looks like a crossbow but without arms and points it at you, Grayson. And they will never know. Am I clear?
Where?
All right. Now, let's head down there. And as you go down there, it's basically a shooting range with some targets and various other weaponry set out. And in one of the corners, there's also a much larger glass tank, also on 4 legs, and with a sort of brush on a stick at the back end. And as you all come down, the brush on the back end starts to waggle. Ah,
Oh,
there you are. And Sybil, you would remember that she used to have a really old dog
Mm.
who was kind of on his last leg when you last saw her. Kind of like 16 years old. Had trouble walking. Yeah. Bernard! There you are. Good boy. And she goes over to pet the glass tank.
You're making new breeds of dogs.
Ah, not exactly new. But I wanted to keep him a bit longer around.
So
Is
some
he
old
doing
things
well?
are cool.
Kilburn is very much not happy.
Is he doing well?
Pretty good. I've been thinking about how I could improve the whole setup for him. But he's been helping me dig out this little basement here, expanding it a bit.
Does he look happy?
Yeah, he comes over to you, keeps wagging his tail.
Ah,
The tank kind of lacks any ability to express anything, but it kind of rubs itself against your legs.
ah.
This is not the natural order of things.
You lived 800 years. Calm down. Let us have some too.
Natural is boring. Okay,
But the
good.
dog seems quite pleased.
Well, he's not in pain
Yeah.
anymore, at least.
True.
And he can
What
walk
about putting a
again.
coffee dispenser on the bottom?
That would be silly.
No, I'm not doing that to him. He's a good boy. I don't want to use him as a dispensary for anything. I mean, he's happy digging out the holes here, but I'm not going to make him do any more than that. Though, I was thinking maybe I could have put a flamethrower on him.
Mm,
Ah well, matter for another time.
yes.
But the reason I brought you down here. She points at Pog. And the... Wait, who did she give the bottled lightning to?
Who wants it?
Or captured lightning? Whatever.
Yeah, well, I'm not quite sure who was handed it.
We'll say it was Pog.
Okay.
Yeah, Pog.
I would have immediately handed it over to Jeff, as it is possibly dangerous. So I'll let someone else carry it.
That's what Jeff's for,
Alright.
right?
Yeah. But yeah, you can try it. Just point it at those dummies at the end. Twist the cap up above. But, yeah. Remember pointing it at them first.
Well, you heard the lady. Give it a shot.
I back up along the wall.
He gets closer to watch.
I back up behind Ilfrin
Yeah.
somehow.
I put my hand over the little hatchling.
But yeah, then as Jeffrey does that, there's basically just a miniature lightning bolt arcing over to the dummies and hits them full force and pretty much obliterates it.
Hell
This
yeah.
seems-
That's exactly what I thought it did.
This seems safe.
Oh, it absolutely is. You just
As long
need
as
to,
you
you just
follow
make
the-
sure you point it away from you. before you
Yeah,
twist
as long
it.
as you follow the instructions.
Yeah. But yeah,
How upset is the hatchling?
it's pretty much quaking inside your pocket. The noise was quite unsettling.
I take her out of my pocket and I start kind of petting her and calming her down. It's okay. Elnar has you. You're good.
Keep that thing away from these vials. She points to a bunch of vials next to you.
I step away.
Good, thank you.
The chicken steps forward.
What in here doesn't explode?
Some things? Some
Oh.
just burn away, not burn, eat away at everything. Some become really cold, too. But yeah. Sybil, would you like to try your arm?
Certainly.
And she hands you a bunch of vials. Some acid, some liquid ice, some alchemist's fire.
I was actually going to ask if you had some just straight up water and vials you didn't mind losing. Just for testing purposes. It's not nearly as exciting, but it is a bit safer.
You mean boring? But yes, I can fill you up. Some vials with just water.
Well, have you tested each of the materials?
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, have you tested
The
each
arm?
of the alchemical concoctions with the arm?
Oh yeah, I made sure it doesn't get eaten away or get too hot or too cold for your arm.
All right, but you definitely need to see how they work firsthand, yes?
I mean, I've been exposing them to that sort of stuff, but
Never actually
I
fired.
can't. Yes, I can't really. You know, I
Yeah.
still do have my arm. I can't really put that on myself like that.
Well, I do owe you for not testing out the rest of the toys, so let's go with the vials.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone want to volunteer as a target?
I have a Johnny here. He can do it. There's no evidence he has a mind of his own.
Yeah, all right, if you say so. Fire away.
All right. And I guess with the 3 vials, I will try each action.
Yeah. I assume you did attune over the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It works quite well. I assume Johnny gets replaced every time.
Yep.
Ah. Those all work quite well. Also, is there any way I can borrow that other Johnny somehow? Quite like that.
I just need to be within 30 feet. Or you can spend, 40 years boxing if you want to do it yourself.
Are you part of the university?
I don't think so.
Damn it. Some strings to get you to work as my assistant then. Ah, too bad. Ah,
Well, just if you ever need one when I'm in town, I'm happy to help.
sure thing. Alright. Well, that's it for testing for now. I do have some more blueprints I have been working on. I'll hand you them on the way out. But I guess you can work on those yourself. You did most of the work with the armor already.
And it works amazing.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, there's also a thing about the blueprint where I've been thinking about using the captured lightning for your gauntlets in the armor. Oh, that might be something you should look at next. Also makes the whole thing a bit lighter.
Ooh.
Energetic. No. But yeah, she leads you outside. Is there anything else you would do inside this laboratory of the mad alchemist? Or are you all eager to leave?
I should be ready to leave.
Just curiously, she has no idea about any of the stuff about our lovely friend that we're trying to rescue, right?
Ah, no. She is just
Then-
mainly an acquaintance who has a lot of interesting toys.
Then Ilfred is getting the heck out of there. He does not want Belay to set the whole place on fire.
Yeah. So I suppose you all meet up with Kelmorn outside then.
Well, as Kelmorn headed to the square
Ah,
to meet up with the crooked kin again
all right.
and to spread the
meet up
wealth,
with
buying them all various stick-themed food.
They are quite pleased with the whole effort. Ah,
Aye, well, I've got an ulterior motive for this here. It's not just a fine wee snack, although this is quite nice actually. It needs a wee bit of sauce. So you've heard you're hearing the hullabaloo about the beast and all that there.
Yes. I mean, that's the whole reason we've been coming here in the first place.
Aye. Well, we've got a wee paying gig that's sending us all about the place. Not really come this way that often. Certainly not the wee small bits. Mind you, you've probably not played at them actually. There's a wee soggy dump called Morass nearby. You been around there?
Not really been around there, but I heard a bit of it.
And there's was it Tarstag before it burnt down?
Oh, you're talking about the things what he's accused of. Well,
Well,
the
I
things
don't
at
like.
the trial.
Well, I mean, I usually like to go in a place unknown and just go for the adventure spirit, but in this case, we're doing it for the benefit of someone's life, so it'd be nice to know if there's, I don't know, anything of use around there or any forewarning.
Oh, well, Morast is it's a little hamlet, just nothing particularly interesting. It's a bit of a swampy area. They mostly do some fishing there, I think. But the real interesting thing about this is just the people there. People say they're a bit inbred, actually. But they never get sick. They always live really long. Yeah. Kind of. Some people say they maybe made a deal with some swamp thing. Or maybe they are swamp things. It's really strange, but yeah.
Something to ask about. You can see in his head he's starting to sift through his playlist on what songs might play well there or not.
Yeah, but they're
obviously
really
you focus
weird.
on all the family tunes. Don't do so much about the long unrequited love.
Well, there aren't that many. I mean, there are like 50, 60 or so folk there. It's a really small thing.
Yeah, potentially a few less at the moment. Alright, so sort of insular folk.
Yeah.
Possibly mysterious, a bit weirdy. Might be something interesting down the swamp itself. Alright. Well, at least I've got a bit of an impetus to actually take a look at the place then.
Bit inbred looking.
Well, I won't say it to her face.
No, I wouldn't either. But that's what all the folks here say.
As he just quietly thinking to himself, looking down the various malformed folk, saying, I fucking hope you don't say it to them. Fucking rich.
Hey, we might be deformed, but we do have standards. No incest here. They don't say that actually out loud.
Yeah. Alright then. Well, I'll have to think a wee bit in this here then. Well, we've got I might be able to, unfortunately, well, I mean, fortunately for our client, we might be able to get the we're calling them stead, incidentally. Might be able to get the beast off its charges, which would be nice. Which means you lot would have to perform your socks off, because people are not going to see someone burn alive in the middle of the fucking square. It's a strange old place already.
Well, it's business. We do have to get around somehow.
No, I'm saying you lot will find it's just that as their execution method and public event. That gets me.
Well, there are finer methods to do that, yes. But, it's tradition.
Yeah,
I guess.
This is usually not a good answer, but... Alright, well, thanks for the little tip. I'll see you in a wee bit.
Alright. Well, thank you for the food.
Yeah, no worries. I'll trim about 5 gold off.
Yeah.
There's a few of them.
Well, if we hear anything else interesting, we'll let you know.
That'd be nice, eh? If you need any backing tracks for your performances or whatnot, or your practices, I could always chime in. Don't really want to get into a stuffy dorm room or anything like that there.
Yeah, that could help, possibly. Actually, while you're at it, you know your dark-skinned friend. Maybe he could perform as well for our troupe. He does look odd enough.
I am offended.
He's not painting himself, isn't he?
No. That's all him. He's just a drow.
I have no idea what it is.
It's a subset of elf.
But he looks fancy.
One of the lesser elves, if you will.
Ah,
They're sort of
didn't.
they're in that little sort of tiny morass of a pool that the high elves sit in as well. Not like the proud noble wood elves or the sea elves, who actually have a purpose in life. They just sort of sit there, they're very political creatures. Not that pleasant normally.
Huh. Well, your friend seemed pleasant enough.
He's alright.
Yeah. Well, do let him know that there's always a place among the Crooked King for him if he wants to.
I'll certainly tell him that, yes.
Yeah. Well, then I'll get back to performing. Have a nice day.
Yep, as you were. And just wander around and wait for the party to show up.
Alright. At the plaza.
Yep.
Alright. There then. And as it so happens, you do meet a pair of elves. Two of you are fairly familiar with. Yes, it's the assholes.
Big surprise.
Pull up tokens for you. And it's mostly Grayson who gets noticed by the younger looking redhead one. And while the other one pretty much ignores you all. But Rallo does show a wide grin as he spots Grayson with a bunch of other people running about. Ah, Grayson, you're back eventually. Such an unfortunate event. Couldn't you have stayed away a bit longer?
The feeling is mutual.
Eager to
Nothing
get
gets
back
done
to
around
facing
here if I
some
don't-
books.
Well, somebody's got to do it. It certainly won't be you.
Oh yes, I only produce the finest works of art. Unlike someone who paints with fingers. And who are these other people you've picked up? What hole did you drag them out of?
Excuse me, he has not picked me up.
Yeah.
But you did come out of a hole, so he's got you there.
Yeah.
Two of us are actually from holes.
Grayson is
Give me
torn.
that.
He doesn't
Oh,
want to
yes.
agree with Rollo, but at the same time, I could just take a jab at it. He's so torn.
The other elf just gives you all a disdainful looks, but doesn't say anything yet.
I think his face gets stuck like that sometimes.
Hey, Grayson, I could probably rip these guys literally in half.
Yes, that's your
Don't
opening
respond to
statement.
that. Yes.
We're-
Do
We're on
Do you
campus.
Nobody else heard him say that, right? I'm not gonna have to.
You got yeah,
I'm
you
not gonna
sidled
end
real
up-
close. We whispered to
I'm
him.
not gonna end up in a faculty office going, he said what?
It's a good thing elves aren't known for having large ears.
Yeah.
Was that again? But eventually the other one, Tuso, speaks up as well. Oh, Ralo, why do you always have to deal with these low-born peasants? And not just peasants, a mongrel, and one of those as well. He looks at Ilfrin. I'm surprised someone allowed him out of his hole.
What are you annoyed you have to deal with one of your betters?
How amusing. You should probably go back to your mistress. Back to clean the floors or something. Whatever hole you crawled out of.
Make this blunt. If
Uh,
I'm
what was
cleaning
that?
anything,
What was
let
it?
me make this blunt. I'll make this blunt. If I'm cleaning anything, it's because your blood is in it. So I advise you walk away.
I should have expected something of savages like you all. Oh, by the way, the mongrel thing was referring to Kelmorn.
I wasn't
Yeah,
there.
that's
Was
what
I there?
That's what I figured.
I thought they were still on
We're all
campus
here, right?
grounds.
No, that was on the way to the plaza.
Right,
You would have caught up.
so you're calling us the savage, uncouth ones despite you just insulting us to their face. Why don't you just get the fuck off? Like, fuck you and the guy you rode in on, which is this man. Both of yous. Piss off. Go on. I
That was
I
exactly
will unleash
what I was
Johnny and this other Johnny as well. I've no
Ah.
interest in dealing with yous.
As I said, can we go now? I do not wish to deal with this scum any longer.
Why does it keep talking? Ugh.
You're the ones who came up to posture at us.
We're not here to
Actually,
deal with your
idly-
with your crippling social issues. Oh, please.
I'm just idly making flames in my hand.
May a tree grow and develop through your colon. Piss off.
I chose the wrong time to take a drink. I almost spit it all over my laptop.
I don't think she's ready for that. Yeah.
And yeah, the older one doesn't seem in the slightest impressed. And it's more like the younger one who seems more in the mood to spite Grayson some more. But eventually he relents. Fine. We can go now.
Let's make it quick. I've
But-
got a fair land distance speed.
It's not you I care about. It's just Grayson. This pretender thinks he does good. He writes pretty books with his fingers.
See,
Maybe
Grayson,
he should-
someone does care about you.
It's a good thing you're such a
Wow.
clear study. It's important he be remembered for a long time. Good of you to make that possibly the focus of your academic experience.
Well, maybe he gets some memories. He can make some memories by writing some children's books with nice big letters.
What he does not know is that Grayson already has. It's how he paid his tuition fees.
He's actually a famous author already.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's nothing he can be proud about.
He didn't do his own drawing, so it doesn't count.
Yeah.
Does he not understand how walking works? Is he trying to walk with his mouth? It requires leg motion.
Oh, the other one who. The older one, he is already going. And completely
I meant the
ignoring
younger
Pog.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying, he's doing a lot of talking, not a lot of walking. Does he understand how to, walk? It's not done with your mouth.
Ugh. People like that.
Yes,
talking
I
to them is
quite
literally
know how
more painful.
walking works, and I advise you all to do the same. Very, very far away from the city, very soon. Have a nice day.
Take your time.
Hunt.
Once he gets a little bit of a distance away with his back turned, I'm gonna use prestidigitation, put the scent of shit right in the back of his shoes.
I was gonna say I don't know how Illuminator's tattoos work, but I can make some ink appear on my finger and I'll flick it on his robe.
Just flick it at him.
Yeah.
Talking to people like that, man.
Yeah.
It's less painful to get punched in the face repeatedly. Speaking
Well,
of experience here.
they'll be walking around with that for an hour.
Until they manage to figure it out or prestidigitate it away themselves. But yeah.
They might not know that cantrip.
Well,
Let's face it, they're
Ra-
elves. They know
Ral-
how presents take place.
yeah, Rallo might not know it, but the older one, what are those names? Why have you punished me with those names?
Because they're elves.
My name was randomly generated. Okay?
Yeah, Tuso is actually a fairly okay name. Yeah, but Tuso
Mine is-
definitely knows his way around. He's something like 400 or 500 years old or something like that.
At least he's
So
not
he's
named
actually older than
Floon.
I am.
Yeah,
Yeah, but don't normal elves live longer than drow?
No, drow are normal elves.
Sure you
I thought
are.
you had a shorter life.
Right, let's see here. I've got a
They
beef.
might have a shorter lifespan for other reasons.
See here, I've got the beef strips for Johnny here. Mr. Pog, would you like chicken or prawn?
Prawn. It's a rare occasion.
There you go. So that just leaves a couple of chicken ones for the rest of you and a beef for Sybil. There he goes.
Oh, thanks, Cameron. Yum.
No worries. I know, I had some free time where you were dealing with some sort of nefarious secret that you've all got to keep close to your chest for the rest of your lives now.
You want to know about it immediately?
No.
Of course. I'm actually gonna. I am gonna keep a secret. I am.
I'll ask Johnny if I need to.
Oh, I made him turn away. He has no idea. I can't trust him yet.
Sometimes I've woken up and he's been there and I haven't summoned him.
So I do have a question, namely, is Kendra going to go with us, or is she going to get a room?
she doesn't actually have a room, but
That's something
She
you could
w-
do.
she would stay in Judge Daramit's house. She would get an extra room there, given that Judge Daramit is also a friend of the family and Professor Lorimer stayed there before as well. Her old dorm room in the university would have new inhabitants by now.
Ilfern is slightly disappointed that they won't be staying in the same residence, but oh well.
Oh, darn.
Well, I mean, while they're up in the swamp
you-
getting our feet clogged up with mud, you could always have a wee ear out, see if there's anywhere we could rent for a wee bit.
I mean, I think there's some more rooms, maybe not for all of you, but I think she could Judge Daramit fit maybe 3 other people in there. Pog, you do have your room at the university.
Yes, which I should attend to. It's been a while.
Johnny
Yeah.
can just dig a hole.
I'll just have other Johnny over me like an umbrella.
Yeah, for the other 2, I'm sure I can find a place, a nice place near the courthouse for you all.
Alright.
We are now filthy rich, so
Well, we're not inner city rich.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Calmore and Sybil would be taking an in room.
Mhm.
I don't know, right now he's looking to have a night in the carnival. Should probably lighten a bit of his weight. I mean, it is dragging my foot down a wee bit all the way to this here. I'm gonna duck off, see if there's must be a wee armor emporium somewhere around here, eh?
There is a small platform. I think platform is the right name.
Market stall.
Yeah, basically an elevated podium. Podium is the
Oh, should probably
Yeah.
get some plate.
podium. Basically an elevated stage platform where performers can perform or someone can address the crowd near the punishing man.
I could always give it a try before the ceremony is carried out. But anyway. A good man. Might you direct me to somewhere that's got a good set of armour to it, nice and fancy? For myself, I'm a stout friend here.
Blacksmith, you mean?
Well, an armour. I need it made.
And fitted properly.
Aye.
But you are looking for basically a blacksmith where you can buy armor.
Yes.
Yeah, he directs you to a place actually near the university because they do have a bunch of custom-made things ordered there. Yeah, there is a workshop.
We're almost getting a full dinner here, Johnny. We're looking for a plate and a half.
I'll put the meat sticks on top.
Oh, I'm talking about our armour.
Oh, I can probably put the meat sticks on there too.
Your plate and I'm half plate.
Oh yes, it's been a while since I had a good set of armor.
Yeah, a couple of days.
Yeah, but not the same when it's like all plates and shit and does folding and it's cool looking.
It will be a right clanking experience. And I mean, I know I've got the wee deal with Mr. Pog and all, but I might as well protect myself best I can until he has the free time, but he deigns to do it. Can't really just rely on his charity. Be a bit, taken for granted and all that there. It'd be a bit rude.
Yeah, well, we'll see when we actually get the chance. Right now, it's kind of go time.
Exactly. So if I can just lift something off a rack, it'll be nice and fine.
Can I even afford a full set of plates?
I think you can afford it exactly, if I remember correctly.
Because how many gold is one platinum?
10.
10.
Yeah, so I'm actually short.
Gold.
Well,
I'll
you're
pick up some splint then. It's still an upgrade.
a dwarf. Of course you're short.
Is that wait?
Ho, ho, ho.
How much platinum did we get?
100 each.
Yeah.
So 1,000 gold. Well, I can get mine.
Yeah, I'll save some money and get the splint instead.
That's if they have it available.
Flint. Yeah, so basically what Sybil has. Yeah,
More
you can get
AC. Heal. Mark that down.
Time to get half plate.
that. Yeah, easy enough to get. This is a
Wait a
large
minute.
enough city that you can get that sort of stuff off the shelf. Basically.
Well. Gonna miss you, my skill vest, but it's time you just settle down. Maybe I'll just stick in story for a wee bit.
Alright, what were your next plans?
Go out to talk to the apparently inbred folk to figure out what's going on over there regarding our lovely friend.
Hey, we're off to travel the Morast.
Alright.
Did Kelmorn tell Ulfrin?
Not yet.
Okay, good.
About the offer?
He'd be even more salty after that exchange.
But yeah, I would actually like to do that next time because my voice is kind of suffering at the moment.
Holy shit, it got late quick. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I think that was
we
a
were
time
having
warp.
we were having a good time.
Yeah.
When you have a good time, time flies.
Like magic.
Yes.
Alright, I'll hit the button then.
Yeah. Alright.